Round here, them guns get the last word.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is going to be episode 1 in a 3-part series. So for this episode, I'm going to be looking at, first off, should Tekken 7 do an animated series? Is now the time? We're going to be looking at other video games that is doing it, other games that did it right, and we're also going to be talking about which characters I think should pop up. I have a poll here. This poll says, after how the live action film of 2010 killed and flopped, which do you see the live action Tekken go as a reboot? The two movies were terrible. Just wish they had the right people to do Tekken right. Look at how Street Fighter Assassin's Fist went. And don't everyone say no to this. Now here's the thing. I don't know what the Street Fighter Assassin's Fist is. I have no clue. But I know the Tekken series had kind of a rocky history with doing live action movies, animated movies. All of these were kind of hit and miss. I know the animated series, I think that was probably like 2008 or something like that. But that one was cool because the fight scene at the very end was cool. Mortal Kombat is a perfect example of fighting games being done right. Even though people were upset about Mortal Kombat because, oh, they did this for this character and oh, they focused on this, it shows with the popularity it can be done. And I think the Tekken story is way more in-depth and personal than Mortal Kombat. Even though I talk very highly about Mortal Kombat, their story, their structure, the reason is because Mortal Kombat has a structure. They have a start, a beginning, a end. You can see what the characters want to do and where they want to go, right? Liu Kang, he wants to defend Earthrealm. Raiden, same thing. Shao Kahn, he wants to merge all the realms. For Tekken, it's a little bit harder to see what these characters' goals are. And I think a TV series can perfectly explain that. Like Kazuya, Heihachi, Jin. I know they all kind of want Jin not so much anymore, but they all kind of wanted like world domination. But it's kind of like cliche to just say, yeah, we want world domination and that's it. You kind of got to give it a little bit more to really have that kick to it. And I think, like I said, a TV series can do it perfectly. Another reason why everyone is talking about Tekken should have a TV series and whatnot, you have, like I said, Mortal Kombat is doing it. Halo, they just announced that they're going to be doing a series for Paramount Plus. You have Uncharted. They have a movie that's coming out soon. You also have Mario. I can't remember if it's Mario Smash Bros. Or if it's Mario whatever. But there is a Mario series in development. And you have Chris Pratt. That's the guy from Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. He's going to be playing Mario. And that single announcement alone sent shockwaves around, one, the whole gaming industry, and two, just the entertainment industry altogether. One, because you have Chris Pratt, which is one of the top actors in the world right now. And then two, you have Mario, which is everyone knows Mario. I can't think of a character that's more iconic than Mario. I recently watched Arcane on Netflix. Now, the reason why I want to talk about Arcane is because I think Tekken can learn a lot from Arcane. Arcane, now, I never played League of Legends. I play a lot of Smite, so I understand how League of Legends work. 5-on-5, team-oriented. I understand that aspect of it. Jungler, support, carry, mage, I understand. But the lore, the story, the characters, that is what I was interested in, and that's what made me watch the show. And in watching Arcane, I have to say, that show was brilliant. Now, I don't know like the actual story, so I can't say, oh, this character was portrayed right. This character is very true to the source material. But just watching as someone who never played League of Legends, it was amazing. And all throughout the show, I constantly thought to myself, Tekken should do this. Tekken would kill if it did this. If Tekken had a Netflix, a Amazon, or even I would say probably a Hulu series, it would be global. Now, when you talk about TV series and how they affect the game, right? You do this big high budget Hollywood project, how will that affect the source material, the video game? In the case of Arcane, of course they did a collaboration with Fortnite, because who doesn't at this point? But also, the characters that was featured in League of Legends, also they got a boost in their popularity. I seen a very, very funny post when Arcane was just released. Someone said, just because you like Arcane, that doesn't mean you should play League of Legends. Now, the reason why that person said that is because League of Legends 5-on-5, very team focused. Everyone needs to play their role and work together in order for you to win. So you don't want someone on your team who just watched the show and they think they can compete. That's not how it works. But Tekken 7 and Tekken 8 wouldn't have that same issue, because League of Legends is a team game. Tekken is a one-on-one, every man for themselves kind of game. Unless they add in Tekken Force and they make Tekken Force a work together co-op kind of experience. But other than that, one-on-one, and it doesn't matter if your opponent, if they played for the first time ever or not, just because they watched the show, that has no effect on you. So I don't think that would really be an issue of people watching the show is and they come play the game and now the game is full of scrubs. Personally, Tekken is already full of scrubs. 8 million copies, I say it all the time, but hands down, 7 million of that 8 million are scrubs. But popularity. I have a screenshot here. This is about Arcane and League of Legends. It says, Jinx already had a substantial pick rate prior to the release of Arcane, though she has seen a rise in players selecting the ADC carry. Jinx's 4.3% increased pick rate has brought her overall popularity to an impressive 15%, the 10th highest in the game. That just shows how impactful these shows are. That show, Arcane, pushed Jinx up to the 10th most popular character in the game. I looked at Google, and before this show came out, she was not in top 10, not even top 15. But now, she is very popular. And I think that is the power of these shows. Now let's talk about Tekken. I'm going to be focusing more in detail on which characters I think can truly be the stars of these series, but I quickly want to mention, first off, a poll. It says, if there was a new Tekken animated series on television, where do you see the first season take place? 204 votes, Tekken 1 and 2, Tekken 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, I kind of think going all the way back to Tekken 1 and 2 is possibly a bad idea. Here's why. One, you don't have the introduction of as many characters that you would like. For example, if they did a series focusing exclusively on Tekken 1 and 2, you are very limited on who you can have show up. No Jin, I think June was in there, but no Ogre. You possibly can sprinkle in some Jinpachi, but a lot of the fan favorites, a lot of the real iconic characters may not be in there. And if they are in there, since it's so early in the story, they're not even at their peak. When you start these stories, you want to get these characters sort of at a point to where you don't want to get them at the peak, but you want to get them at a good place to start. I don't think Tekken 1 and 2 is a good place to start. I think those are good for flashbacks. When we talk about Arcane, I believe the first 2 episodes was Arcane in their, was Jinx in her childhood. She was like 10 or 11 or something like that, 6 or something. She was a child. But then in the later episodes, it did a time skip, and it focused on her sort of in her prime. And I think that's the exact same thing. You can do an episode or 2 focusing on Tekken 1 just to sort of get the feel of what the Mishima Zaibatsu are like, Heihachi, Kazuya, sort of the mistakes that were made to set up the plot. But I think at a certain point you will need to do a time skip to get the real juicy bits of the story. Now, I am a little bit biased in this, but I'm going to say it anyways. I think one character that can hands down carry the story is Yoshimitsu. Yoshimitsu and his rival Kunimitsu, they can carry a story like no other. Also, you have the Maji clan, which I've been wanting for years to see the Maji clan explored. We have these 2 pictures of what the Maji clan looks like, but we have nothing else to go on. And I think having Yoshimitsu be the leader of the Maji clan, also have him working with Raven, Master Raven, Jin even is one of his allies to a certain extent, King, Yoshimitsu, if you put the narrative on him, you can really have him interacting with many different characters, and it really just depends on how they want to do it. But I think Yoshimitsu, the Maji clan, there's a lot of potential in that. But also, I can understand if they focused on Jin, Kazuya, and or Heihachi, considering they are the main 3 characters. So I can see both sides of the coin, but I would love to see what Yoshimitsu can do sort of in this star role. Also, if we look at the flip side, Kunimitsu, her story is very tragic, and in Tekken 7 they kind of brought it back, but I think that tragedy and also the mistakes that character made way back in Tekken 1 and 2, you can really use that as a plot device to push that story, to push that narrative forward, right? Her fighting Julia, her fighting Yoshimitsu for the sword. Imagine that, seeing that play out. 1, speaking with her grandfather, and then 2, going and actually betraying Yoshimitsu, seeing that play out. Because that's the thing. It's one thing to just see it happen, but to see the emotions, to see the betrayal, to see the hurt, to see the fight, that is all very important. And the thing about the Mishima Zaibatsu, the reason why I don't think they are really fit for the main role, 1, you have 3 male characters. In this sort of day and age where we're at, that is not going to cut it. You need to have some sort of diversity in there, whether it's a woman, whether it's some other nationality, race. You need to have a mixed cast in there. I think that is important. And the Maji clan, like I said, we know nothing about these characters, so they can easily do that. That's the one main hurdle holding back the Mishima Zaibatsu. All 3 men, all the same nationality. And let me say this right now. If they were to flip one of these characters a different race for whatever, like let's say if they added in Jun Kazama and they made her from Spain, that would upset the Tekken community. So it's just very difficult. When you're dealing with the main 3 protagonists, you have to remember that they are all men, and that sort of doesn't catch in this day and age. You need that diversity. And also, speaking to that, I think it's very important to think about, you have Nina, Anna, you have Bruce, you have Eddie, you have some characters in there, but like I said, when you go to Tekken 1 and 2, it's very difficult to have all these characters in there and also in their prime moving around and pushing the story. So that's going to be it for this one. In episode 2, I'm going to talk about which character I think can carry a series like no other. And in episode 3, I'm going to do a tier list and just place every character in order to see which characters will look good in a TV series, right? But that's it. Thanks for watching. Look forward to episode 2 and also episode 3. I'll have those out shortly. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.